Alright, so what's up everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and today I'm bringing a spicy video because this is one of the biggest goons to ever grace fiction. This is the mask on, nothing to talk about, just fade my ops, Michael Myers. This is going to be several minutes of him just punishing civilians and fading his enemies, and overall being a menace. If you love content like this, jobber videos, goon videos, and everything in between, make sure to like and subscribe, as well as check out my second channel, The Coffee Shop. And if you want to see your favorite topic or character covered either here or on The Coffee Shop, hit me up on Discord to talk about purchases, as well as join the server, and you can get opportunities at free videos as well. Come join. We have about 600 members now, and it's a blast. So I'm going to be obviously using a bunch of moments spread throughout Myers' stories. This includes primarily comics, because I want people to see the funny shit and the crazy shit he does that's not the most popular, right? So make sure to smash the like button. 200 likes, I'll drop a part 2. I have so many moments for him, I can't get it all in one video, so he needs multiple parts. But anyways, guys, let's get right into this. This is Michael Myers being a goon. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's begin. So these first several moments deal with childhood Mikey. Why? Because childhood Mike Myers was built different. Off rip, little bro was a menace. Let me tell y'all what he did. Literally, already, obviously, most famously faded his family, right? That'll probably be on part 2. Didn't even make this one. But, because everyone knows it. But he fades his family, right? No one can really get a good reason for it. Well, he got locked up, right? As a child. He needs to be studied. By age 6, literally that young, it was obvious that Michael Myers, Lil Mikey, did not give a fuck. Like, like he was a savage, he was a menace, he was evil, whatever you want to call him. Scientists, psychologists, literally couldn't figure him out. Like, you see this told in like flashback style, and it shows current Mikey obviously boloing people, but it was obvious, even from literally age 6, that there was no redemption in his story. He was gonna be a goon for life because he's a beast. Next, by age 7, Mikey was locked up with like big dog psychos. What I mean by that is like the worst of the worst society could offer as children and teenagers, Mikey got thrown in with. Like, we're talking people that set their families on fire, self-harmers that worship the devil, like crazy shit, right? Like all the people we would think are wild and you just wouldn't want your kids around, right? Little Mikey gets in there. And in the notes told by Dr. Loomis himself and others, and you gotta remember, Mikey's young as fuck when he goes here. The biggest thing with him is he doesn't talk. Ain't shit to talk about but fades, right? Like, he literally doesn't talk. What are we going to talk about? It's Big Mike. You know the name. Respect the brand. So Mike Myers doesn't talk. And Loomis was like, I should have known these kids were going to try to fuck with him and think he's weak or dumb because he doesn't talk. And that's not true. In fact, the most obvious character, the most obvious person, even as a child, for someone that will spin the block is Michael Myers. And the doctor couldn't be more right. He was accurate as shit. This leads us into the next moment, right? We see over the years, after that like age 6, 7, getting thrown to the wolves, Michael Myers is spinning the block on kids, right? Like any kid that messes with him. Like someone draws on his picture, stabbed in the eye with a crayon, bitch. Like you mess with him, knock his tray down, take his food, get burned in the shower, dummy. Like this Michael Myers, this kid Myers, was spinning the block on them, right? Like just in this amount of time was punishing mad people. Like it was just hard to counter him. Like it even at a young age, he was bodying people and getting away with it. Like just they take the L's, he doesn't. Wild shit. Next, by age 11, they admit and concede like, yo, there's no humanity in this kid. His mind, his soul, whatever it is, it's way beyond anything we could ever hope to interpret or learn. I don't even know if we can call him evil. He's not human. I don't know if he's supernatural, but he's something. The only thing we can guarantee with Mike is that if he's in the building, bodies drop. That's the only guarantee with Michael Myers. And he always spins the block. He's coming back, bitch. So this kid Myers, he knew. He was like, yo, I know you have multiple bodies, but you slick motherfucker. And it shows him at like a Halloween party, like rolling up on kids that have been fucking with him. Like, he's gonna catch bodies. He's gonna do shit either supernaturally, like use psychic shit, telepathic shit, make them do something they don't actually want to do, or literally lead to events that cause their death. Regardless, he's literally too smart and too OD for them to catch, even as a child. Like, Mike spinning the block as a kid is dangerous as shit. And if you guys didn't know he was like that when he was locked up, that he was big dog bodying all the prisoners without saying a word, smash that like button for Big Michael Myers, the biggest of the goons. Now, getting back to this, I think one of the funniest things that's not talked about Myers and his horror clout is what he did to his entire state, right? He literally, it's shown at one point that Mike not only scared his town, right? He had the whole state shook. Cops were basically like, yo, the state's terrified of Michael Myers. Like, they've seen that he bolos. They've seen the fact we can't stop him. He's gonna spin the block regardless. And with that fact, you've got the rest of the state, even if they don't mean to. It's funny as shit that this is what it comes to. They're basically plotting on the downfall of the town, right? They're like, yo, either Michael Myers dies or he just, please stay in that town. Like, don't come to any part of the state because we can't really do shit to him. So he literally had the whole state shook and just begging that he stays in his town, fucking up the same people. And it's like, if you think about that, that's terrible. Like, you really got the street shook that bad, they just pray the fade stays elsewhere. That's exactly what Myers did to his entire state. Next, we have how, just one of the classic moments of Michael Myers being mad disrespectful. He's like, do you like art, bitch? Pulls up on a bitch, chokes her, right? Boom, one shot by the choke. For whatever reason, when Michael Myers chokes you, you're paralyzed. I don't know why. It's probably because he's a fucking horror villain and can do reality warping shit, which is revealed in the comics. But anyways, chokes the bitch, bow, drops her. He's like, yo, you remind me of like a stuffed pig. He's like, he's seen pumpkins before and like Halloween art. He's like, I think I'm gonna play arts and crafts on this bitch just to torture her homies. So while she's alive, he literally starts turning her into a human art project with pumpkins, the apple, like all this crazy shit. He's doing the bitch dirty, right? All just to have his ops shook, right? Like, he's just a dick. Like, Michael Myers is just out here stunting on people for no reason. Did her dirty just to play mind games with her homies, which is just effing the live chat for this girl for taking such a massive L from Michael Myers. Next, we have a moment where, again, Myers is just an asshole. Like, sometimes he just feels like stunting on you because he can. Case in point, there's one girl in the story. I remember laughing when I read this because I was so confused on why he did this shit. And you find out later he was just being a dick. So this girl ends up in a cellar, right? And she's looking for shit, trying to detect shit. And she's like, oh my God, I think he's here. She looks up and sees Michael Myers. Now, to everyone that's read the comics and like you've seen most of his shit, at that point you make eye contact with Myers, he's walking you down, right? Like, that's what you expect. Myers looks at her and he's basically like, oh, it would be mad inconvenient for you if you just randomly got locked in here. What are you gonna do about it if I do that, bitch? And of course he doesn't say anything. That's what makes him a great goon. I get to make up what he's saying, but obviously that's what he meant. He's like, take this, bitch, and closes the door and locks it. Forces her to stay down in the cellar for no reason. Just to be that guy. That's right. Myers is a menace where you can just take L's to him because he feels like being that guy. Next, let's talk about folding someone so bad you argue it's a hacks, right? So, we know Myers likes to play mind games with his ops, right? So, this group of civilians that Myers has chosen to just torture and bully, it gets so bad, like he walks them down so bad, picks them off one by one so bad, that they accuse him of like having narrative manipulation. They're like, yo, the way this dude beats our ass, controls the situation, seems to know wherever we'll be, always pops up. Fate in the story is like so OD because of him. He controls everything. That's the only way he can be bodying us this bad. I'm like, bro, imagine getting spun on so much that you just assume your ops control the story. That's horrible. Myers is that much of a bully, one of the biggest bullies we've seen in fiction, that he's got them thinking like this, to the point you're like, yo, I think he has narrative hacks. But it's like one of those things where he's just being that much of a menace that they think he controls the story. Next, we see one of the characters just get mind hacked into oblivion, right? She gets hit with one of the craziest stare downs from Michael Myers ever. When Myers looks at her, she's like, you know what? Fuck this game of life. I'd rather just leave. She just gives up. She's like, dude, I don't even want to live anymore. Like, dude clearly has fate manip, narrative manip, reality warping. He teleports. He knows where you're gonna be. Like, this isn't a game anymore. We're just getting sauced on. She's like, fuck that. I don't want to do this. So she's just like done, right? And he mind hacks her, right? Just walks her down and mind hacks her. So she's like, yo, this isn't a regular op. This is clearly someone that was born from the void. She was like, matter of fact, bro he is the void. Like, this is the void incarnate, the nightmare itself, the end of all things, the nightmares that humans are driven crazy by, all this shit. She just brands him the biggest goon to ever exist and gives up. And that's how bad Big Mikey mind hacks her. It's hilarious. Now, final moment, hit the like button if you haven't already. We have the time he, again, followed up on saucing on an op. Like I said, he turned a bitch into a pumpkin treat, right? Like, just made her look like a goofy pumpkin torture device. And her man, the homie, pulls up on her. He sees this and freaks out. He's like, oh my god, like, who did this? Not only does Mike torture him by making him witness that and see that, he pulls up on her right after. He's like, well, he doesn't say anything, but you know the vibes. He's like, yo, pick your bitch up. Then he starts beating the shit out of them and torturing them. And he just ruins not only their day, their life, their existence. And it's just one of the most disrespectful killers and bullies we've ever seen in fiction. It makes for hilarious goon moments. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to show support with comments as well as like buttons. Let me know your favorite moment in the comment section down below. And if you want to see your character on the Jobber or Goon series, make sure to hit me up on Discord so we can talk about purchasing. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.